we are going to give you access like no one has ever seen before. We're having Jet Lawrence bring you through a perfect race day in San Diego.
Welcome to San Diego. Dude, I can't stop laughing. Ended up clipping the down at Whiskey Throttle. Hey, how we doing? No problem, guys. Thank you. Have a good one.
We'll take you inside the Honda rig to show you what race day looks like from the fastest 250 rider alive. You can be a part of this first of its kind interactive experience only inside the Moto Academy app.
I don't know if he's going to teach that technique.
No, he can do it.
AJ, when he's teaching kids, hey, first lap of practice, go out, look like a goon. And then, after you get done doing that, and go get P1.
I have an idea. This is a segment that we used to do in our high school sports show. Okay, we had our high school was EHS, so we called it EHSPN. Super fun. It was like, if you were a cool kid, you were like on the cast of that sports show. Anywho, we did something to recap games called Top 5, Bottom 5.
Okay.
And we're going to adapt that for Supercross, all right? So it's totally subjective. These are totally my opinions. Okay, so that's where it gets a little weird. Because I chose...
so you've chosen the top 5, bottom 5.
I chose the top 5 moments and the bottom 5 moments.
So I just have to talk about them off the cuff as if I also helped put together the top 5, bottom 5?
Exactly.
Or do I... Okay.
If you want to add to them, you can. I actually only have 4 bottom 5s. So... I'm
unbelievable.
One short on the
rules
bottom.
Already.
I had 5 and 5 for Anaheim, but not as many weird things happened.
But we never podcasted after Anaheim?
No.
Whoops.
We tried. We gave it a good effort. All right, would you like to start with the top 5 or the bottom 5?
How did you used to do it? I'd say start with the bottom.
Yeah, we started with the bottom 5.
Yeah, let's start with the bottom.
All right, we're going to start with the bottom 5.
Hit me with it.
First one, Max Vohland.
Oh boy.
Okay, so let's talk about Anaheim, right?
Oh,
Max Vohland. Okay, no, let's talk about last year, dude. Okay, so last year, Max Vohland wasn't making mains. I remember you beat him out twice. You beat him out in St. Louis, and then you beat him in qualifying another day.
At Atlanta on the 2-stroke.
Yes, on the 2-stroke. Holy cow.
Because I remember that story, how somebody came over. It was either Jacob Hayes or Kenny Day. I can't remember who. And they were like, "You're an American hero." And then they're like, "Well, I was just in the KTM rig." And they figured out that Max qualified 21st, which you had to qualify 20 to get to the gate for the way that this one was set up. And they go, they were all bummed out. And they go, "Well, who qualified 20th?" And then somebody from the other side of the rig goes, "Damn it, it's Catanzaro on the 2-stroke."
Unbelievable. Now,
which is hilarious. But also, God, I feel bad for him.
Well, hang on.
But at the same time, sorry.
Anaheim won.
What did he get at Anaheim won?
Like 4th or 5th.
He did?
Yeah. And I was like, hallelujah. He was on my top 5 last week. And I was like, He's back. Like KTM, he's the factory KTM rider in the 250 class. And I'm like, 4th, 5th place? Well, I actually remember where some people are going to be so mad. I'm not a stats guy. Some people are.
I think 4th or 5th sounds about right. But I think somebody told me that.
Did great. I was like, yes, that's the Max Vohland we wanted, And then San Diego.
Just straight up doesn't make the main. What happened in the heat race?
Heat race, he crashed, I think. He raced, Wait, what happened in the heat race?
Which was the one that he jumped into the flat?
Heat race, red flag, staggered start, right?
Oh, and then he endoed himself after the staggered start.
Endoed himself in the staggered start, yeah.
Which was his fault. I remember seeing that. And then the LCQ
he killed a track worker.
Yeah, hopefully that guy's okay. His LCQ was basically a disaster. I mean, I guess it started okay. He got a horrible start. And then he was probably in either 9th or 12th. He was like right around like 10th, which, I mean, in an LCQ, you can start 10th and make your way up, but it's not easy because people are riding like maniacs and it's just really hard. I don't care who you are. Even when I saw Chase Sexton, not get the best start in his LCQ. I was like,
Yeah.
and I'm just like picturing him going by these guys. Like, now the benefit of that is, well, this could go one of two ways. When you're a big name guy, I guess it would be different in 250 versus 450. When you're a big name guy, so if you're Sexton in the LCQ, when you get up beside somebody and they realize that it's Sexton, they're going to let you by.
Right.
Every single person in that LCQ would let Sexton by. Whereas if it was me making the pass on somebody, they'd probably be like, oh, Catanzaro shouldn't be in front of me. I need to get him back. So they'd make an aggressive move to get back on you. That's the benefit of having like that God status in the LCQ. In the 250 class, it's not really worth as much. I think with the 250 guys, it's going to be 50-50. Some are going to see that factory KTM of Vohland and be like, yeah, go ahead, I'll follow you. Then the other half are probably going to be like, oh, I want to prove a point here. I'm not letting this guy by. And I'm going to do everything I can to not let this guy by. At one point, I thought he had it. Or did he get into a qualifying spot and then that's when he flew off the track?
I was sitting by the finish line and I was watching him tick off people. And I was like, what? Because in the beginning of the LCQ, he wasn't passing people quickly. And I was like, oh no. Like, what if he just straight up doesn't qualify? Right? And then I think he got up into second or first. Like, he made the rhythm lane before the one he crashed in, he made a pass, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, I literally leaned over to Grady. I was like, that's how you manage an LCQ. I'm like, don't get too hot-headed. He just clicked people off consistently the whole time. And then, whoop, gone. I was like, no way, bro. Like,
man.
He was doing so well. He was just taking people off. He wasn't riding over his head. He was taking his time. And like in an LCQ, how on earth do you take your time? You know? And
but there were also, I will say, devil's advocate here, there were people dropping like flies. It wasn't like he was making passes, yes, but there was also just people falling all over the place, all around him. So he was being gifted a lot of those spots also. Like, even after I think this was after he jumped off the track and got back on, he passed 3 kids in one turn because like 2 of them crashed in the whoops and another one got squirrely and kind of caught up. And then he jumped the finish line and passed like 3 more people in the next turn. I'm like, what's happening here?
Yeah. I mean,
but yeah, that's definitely deserved of the bottom 5.
He did get up and kept going, which was honorable. But yeah, all that to say is, what now? Because now you're 2 races in, and as Max Vohland, who wasn't making a lot of mains last year, now you're like, which one's the fluke? Right? Like, how impossible is it to like now walk into Anaheim 2 not knowing, like, I'm sure he will say, I belong in the main. I believe he belongs in the main. I'm a little bit biased. I love Max Vohland. I've had great conversations with him. But he's also just that good. He's wicked talented. But you got to believe, like, in your head, it's like, oh, shoot. You know, I got a 50-50 shot as far as this season's concerned, you know?
It definitely puts you in a different headspace. I mean, his headspace going into round 3 versus going into round 2 after getting top 5, now coming off that LCQ, he's almost going to be more probably operating like a defensive mode, or conservative mode, which isn't a good place to be riding. So I don't know, maybe I could be totally wrong, but I see him as being that type of personality. So yeah, I feel bad because he is super nice.
Yeah, he's an awesome kid.
You know, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Anaheim too.
So do you rank these as far as like, was that the worst one? Was that 5th, or is it just in the bottom 5?
I don't really have an order. No, that's just
okay. Did you when you used to do it?
Yes, we did when I used to do it. But
okay. So we're gonna put that at 5th. We're gonna put that at number 5 on the bottom 5. If you guys are enjoying these podcast clips and you want to watch full episodes, you can subscribe at club.themotoacademy.com.